In 2012, a single photo of me standing in lettuce at Burger King changed my life forever. For over a decade, people have speculated about the real story. Today, I'm finally ready to talk about it. If you're not familiar with the meme, I'll post it on the screen here now. But basically, it's me working at Burger King, and I'm standing in two plastic bins of lettuce. And it was all over the news. It was viral. And what really set it off, though, was when Chills on YouTube, check him out. He's got awesome spooky content nowadays. But he was doing like a top 15 series at the time. And that's where he said the famous number 15, Burger King foot lettuce, which made it really go viral. People even say it nowadays. I hear it all the time still. But yeah, it was a really funny meme. But yeah, I am the guy. And no, I wasn't trying to ruin lettuce for everyone. If you didn't know, this whole thing happened in Mayfield Heights, Ohio at the Burger King on Mayfield Road. And I wanted to show you guys a couple things. I have my 5th grade yearbook here. And I also have my 6th grade yearbook here. And I'm waiting on my high school senior year yearbook. I gave it to someone. So as soon as I get that, I'll show it to you guys. But I know there's been a lot of imposters over the years, so I just wanted to show you guys that. In 2012, I had just gotten a part-time job at Burger King with my two best friends at the time. We all worked there. They had actually gotten me that job. They had worked there before me. And I had just graduated high school. I needed a part-time job. So, I started working there. And the three of us together, it was just a recipe for disaster. We would do the dumbest things you can imagine. I mean, we would just joke around all the time. Like, I would just grab full heads of lettuce and just start eating it for no reason. Or grab an onion and start eating it like an animal, like a full onion. I was so dumb. Oh my God, one time, I forgot about this. One time, people would ask for extra mayonnaise and stuff, and we would work on the line in groups of 2. And I would just grab tons of mayonnaise, and I would just wait for my buddy to see what I'm doing because he would be busy doing his own thing. And by the time he'd looked, there would be 4 inches of mayonnaise on the thing. It was so funny at the time. And I'll be honest, one time I actually did serve that. This guy wanted extra mayonnaise, and we didn't give him enough, so he came back in and asked for extra mayonnaise. And I was like, oh, you want extra mayonnaise? So I just loaded it up like crazy, and I wrapped it into this ball of 2 papers. And we were so busy at the time that I just tossed it in the bag for the drive-thru guy, and he didn't even notice. And a few minutes later, I hear him come into the front, where's your manager? And I hear him talking to the manager, and he starts yelling. He's like, what the hell? You think this is funny? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, my God. And my buddy and I, we were just crying, laughing. And then he came around. We acted like nothing happened. And he didn't even say a word. He just looked at me and was like, I need you to remake this. He really just didn't give a shit. He gave a shit, but he was so sick of us. He was this older guy, and he'd be like, man, I'm so tired of working these young kids, man. I'm too old for this shit. Oh, man, he was a character. Anyways, so one time I was prepping lettuce in the back. So we would take the head of lettuce and take the core out and then cut it up and then put it in this, we'd wash it, and then we'd put it in this bin where it kind of worked like how a washing machine works at the end. You would spin this handle on top of the big red bin. You'd spin it on top, and it would spin the inside, and all the water would go out through the sides like a strainer. So that's how we would dry the lettuce. And I was putting it in bins, and plastic bins, and putting a sticker on it and stuff, which that's actually something extra funny about this. But for whatever reason, I decided to just put the bins on the floor and stand in them. And I called my friends over. I was like, hey guys, come look at this. And I'm just standing there in the lettuce. My buddy comes immediately, and he's in tears. I think it was the funniest thing he's ever seen, even to this day. He was laughing so hard. And finally, the other guy, the guy who'd been there since he was 16, came over, and he came around the corner, and he had just looked at me, and he just turned around immediately and went back to work. He didn't smile, he didn't laugh, he didn't say a word, which made it even funnier for the two of us. But anyways, so I think it's funny how I chose to put the day dot sticker on, but still stood in the lettuce. Whatever. So I'm standing there, and my buddy takes the picture. He had one of those juke phones, It was like this old thin phone that would like flip out, and you guys might remember it. And he took the picture. I wanted him to take the picture because from the POV, like my perspective, it didn't look very, it looked funnier from his perspective. So he took the picture, and I threw the lettuce away. Okay, there's a lot of rumors that the lettuce was used, or they found dirt in the lettuce or whatever. It's all a bunch of lies. There's a lot of lies about this story. Anyways, so that's it. We worked the rest of our shift. I get a call in the middle of the night, like 11 p.m. I think it was. I was laying in bed, and my buddy never calls me. He just texts me, so I was like, oh shit. I answer it, and I'm like half awake, and he's talking really fast. He's like, dude, I just posted it online, and these guys, they said they posted the address, and they called the police, and they called the news station. And I'm like, wait, what? Slow down. And he tells me again, he's like, I posted it on 4chan, and this guy doxed me. Somehow he knew where it was taken. He said Mayfield Road in Mayfield Heights, Ohio. He posted it, and they called the news stations and all this. And I'm like, my heart sank. I was like, my life is over. It's over. I'm gonna go to jail. It's over. Yeah, I felt really, really scary at the time. Anyways, so I go to sleep somehow, and the next morning I walked out of my bedroom. I lived with my grandma and my mother at the time at my grandma's place, and I walk out in the living room, and I see it on the TV. I see the picture, and I'm like, oh my God. And I can hear them like, Burger King employees, blah, blah, blah. And my grandma was like, did you see this? You work here, right? And I was like, what? Who could that be? That's crazy. And I think she knew it was me, but she was like in denial. She was like, oh yeah, no, that couldn't be. She said that out loud. She's like, that couldn't have been him. So, yeah. And then, shortly after that, it was all over the internet. It was on all news stations. All my friends knew and thought it was just so funny. And I thought my life was over. I thought I was going to jail. Like, I was convinced. I didn't, I obviously didn't go to work. I had to go back to get my paycheck. I remember that. And I was dreading it. I didn't pick it up for days. Finally went in there to pick it up. And no one's making eye contact with me. And the general manager actually gave me my paycheck, and she told me, I swear, she told me, if you ever need a reference, don't be, I think she liked me or something, looking back now, but she's like, if you ever need a reference, you can call me, I'll put in a good word for you. And I'm like, thinking like, what? Like, I just like ruined this whole business. And I did. I mean, even today, that place, I looked at the reviews recently, it's all like, oh, everything was great, but the lettuce tasted like foot fungus and blah, blah. Which, like, it's funny, but, like, dude, they've been going through that for years. You guys gotta stop, for real. Like, do not call them. Do not leave, review. Stop. Like, just leave them alone. It's been over a decade, and they're still dealing with this. They get phone calls every day, probably, about this. I already tanked the stock price from this. I know I did. I never looked at the timeline, but I heard that the stock price tanked after I did this, and I'm not surprised. But yeah, I thought my life was over. All my friends thought it was funny. I'm pretty sure everyone that I went to high school quickly knew that it was me. And yeah, luckily nothing came of it. I think they looked at the footage probably and saw that I didn't, use it. So that's probably why I never got in legal trouble. But I did get fired, and I got everyone fired. I got my manager there fired, and he was the cool manager. Like, we used to smoke weed in the office, and he would like provide it all, and yeah, he was really cool. He'd let us do whatever he wanted. He was fun to be around. So I feel bad about that, Dan, if you're watching. I know I already apologized, but sorry. There's a few reasons why I didn't want to come out back then as the foot lettuce guy. A few of the main reasons are, one, I don't know if you guys remember, but when it first came out, people hated me. The sentiment was not that it was funny. Most people thought I was a bad person. They were like, lock him up, he's a menace, which I kind of am. Just terrible things. Most people didn't think it was funny. The sentiment seemed to have shifted over the years. I think most people think it's funny now. Anyways, another reason was, whether I want to admit it or not, I cost Burger King a lot of money. And Burger King, if you're watching this, I am really sorry. I genuinely, like, I'm so sorry. Please don't sue me. Please don't sue me. I'm a poor man. My life is terrible. You won't get anything. You'll just ruin my life more than it already is. Please don't sue me. And then the final main reason was, I actually worked in food service my whole life. After Burger King, I got a job at Domino's. I worked there for like 9 years. I was at various different levels in management, and I was a general manager at Burger King. No, I'm just kidding. I was a general manager at Taco Bell, and I just didn't want to lose my job. I really didn't, and I was really worried about that. So I just wanted to run from it, but it always seems to resurface. It's like a thing that just follows me around as long as I live. Anyways, why I'm deciding to come out now is, one, like I said, I think most people think it's funny now. And two, so last year I was determined disabled. I have seizures, and they injure me a lot. Like, I tried working with them for years, but they just keep getting me hurt. I've broken a lot of bones. I smashed all my teeth. I broke my spine a few months ago. Well, I fractured it. And it's just not safe for me to work anymore. I've looked for at-home jobs, and it's really hard to find. A lot of them are scams. So I'm hoping to use this opportunity to come out and maybe garner an audience to shamelessly start a content creation career. I really enjoy making these videos. I really enjoyed making that trailer. It was really fun. And I really think it'd be fun to make people laugh and do deep dives on internet culture and memes and just funny skits. So if you want to support that, subscribe to me. Subscribe to Epic Alex Time. Yeah. I got a lot of stuff planned for you guys. I'm doing a Reddit AMA, and I'll be doing a separate video on that where I go through the whole thread and answer all the questions on there. There's a lot of stuff I didn't get into in this video because I want to keep it short. But if you guys have any questions for me regarding this, post them in the comments down here. I'll answer every single one of you. I love and appreciate all of you guys. You've been super supportive already. Already got 30 subscribers, baby. Let's go. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Foot Lettuce Guy out.